All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. This is your stimulus update for Saturday, May 23rd. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot to say on the legislative or the presidential front. We know the House of Representatives has passed the HEROES Act. We also know that the Senate is on a week-long Memorial Day recess, and we know that the president is currently out golfing. So there's not really a whole lot to say on those fronts. So in this video, I'm going to cover a few this and that, and then I'm going to talk about some coronavirus and stimulus-related scams that you, my viewers, told me about in the comments in a video 2 days ago. But the first thing I want to talk about is when is the IRS going to start processing paper returns again? So I do have a friend who works for the IRS, all right? And she's kind of my go-to for insider, behind-the-scenes IRS information. And so I asked her, hey, a lot of my viewers, they want to know when is the IRS going to start processing paper returns again? Because I know many of you out there, you have submitted a paper tax return to the IRS, but it apparently hasn't been processed because you haven't gotten your refund, and you obviously haven't gotten your stimulus. So I asked her that question, when is the IRS going to start processing paper returns again? And here's what she said. She said, hey, Logan, spoke with a few managers, and it looks like electronic ones are being processed now, but paper returns probably not until July 15th. I believe that's when campus employees are expected to go back into the offices. Now, we know that there are some states, right? What was it? Kentucky, Utah, Texas, where the IRS is recalling about 11,000 employees. My IRS friend is in California. Okay, in California, our paper returns are processed in Fresno or San Francisco. Both of those are in California. So, her July 15th comment may just pertain to, California, right? And those processing centers. Other processing centers might open up earlier than that. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Next up, I want to talk about the debit card. So apparently many Americans got their stimulus debit cards this week. EIP cards. EIP stands for Economic Impact Payment Cards, and they look like this. Okay, so on the front it says, Visa, debit in the top right, got the card number, expiration date, and then your name at the bottom. On the back they look like this. Okay, it says MetaBank at the bottom, and Money Network there in the middle. So, lots of people, oh, and by the way, the envelope, it will say it's coming from Money Network Cardholder Services, okay? And a lot of people are actually receiving these cards, and they're thinking it's a scam. I heard about this one couple who they got their stimulus card, their EIP card, and the husband's name was wrong on it. And so that, if your name's wrong on something, especially something purporting to be from the government, that should, automatically send off, red flag signals. But apparently, it was a legitimate stimulus card, okay? And the government just made a mistake on the card. So, if you get a debit card, please check, make sure that it looks like this on the front and like this on the back. And, I'll put instructions down there in the description for places where you can find out more information on these debit cards if you receive one, all right? In other news, Hertz declared bankruptcy. And like I've said for other companies, right, when a company declares bankruptcy, okay, it's typically a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which basically means they're just trying to formulate a plan to restructure their debts to get the business back on its feet. Okay, it's not like the monopoly bankruptcy thing where if you go bankrupt in monopoly, you're dead, you're done, you're gone, go home. That's not typically what it means for when you hear about businesses declaring bankruptcy. All right, so now let's move on to the scams. So there are some scams that many of you viewers told me about in the comments to a video a couple days ago that I want to share with my audience as a whole so that we all can be aware of them right now. All right, so I'm going to hop behind my computer now and I'm going to take a look at these scams. All right, so I'll see you in a few seconds. All right, everybody, so let's talk about these scams here. The first one is from Cha-Cha Policia, who says, I'm 75 and called a few places to get tested. I have a few symptoms. I was told we are not accepting insurance. The test is up to $1,400. Wow, if you want to know if you are positive within 3 days, or 906 days. But sorry, we are not testing anyone over 60. Yeah, so this definitely sounds like a scam to me. Cha-Cha Policia, if you are 75 years old and you feel that you have COVID-19 symptoms, yes, you should get tested ASAP. But these places that you called, these sound extremely, extremely shady. What, they're cash only? They don't take insurance? No. We do know, right, if you go to the Medicare website, down here, let's see. Right. Medicare covers related needs. Medicare covers the lab test for COVID-19. You pay no out-of-pocket costs. You pay nothing for this test, right? So Medicare is covering COVID testing. Medicaid is covering COVID-19 testing as well. Now, I don't know where you got the information for these testing centers, but here in Los Angeles, we have this map of the kind of the of testing centers, right? And they're kind of color coded. Like some are, if it's blue, it's LA County. If it's green, it's LA City. There's these other kind of testing sites, right? And so, I can click on one of these and I can know like, oh, this is, probably a legit testing site. But honestly, the first thing I would do is I would call your doctor, who you usually see, and hopefully they can direct you on the best way, to get tested. Because obviously you are, just by the nature of the COVID-19, you are in a higher risk group due to your age, and you should definitely get tested ASAP if you feel that you have symptoms. But yeah, these cash only testing places who don't test people over 60, that definitely sounds like a scam to me. All right, let's move on. Britton Hale says, I've gotten 2 phones from someone using a computer to do the talking, saying there's been activity on my Social Security account, asking for my bank account and Social Security number, saying they want to check and see if my stimulus check had been stolen. Wow, so that is obviously a scam, right? They are so bold as to ask for your bank account and Social Security number over the phone to check to see if your stimulus check had been stolen. Now, I know a lot of you out there are waiting for your stimulus checks. You're waiting very patiently, and I know that when you're really waiting for something, you're really anxious about it. That's when we're sometimes not in our right mind, and that's when we can be more susceptible to scams like this. Now, I know this is probably working for these scammers because if it wasn't, they probably wouldn't continue to do it, right? So please do not give, your bank account or your Social Security number over the phone to anybody, no matter how convincing they sound, if they're telling you that, they can get you your stimulus check or see if it's stolen if you do that, okay? This sounds completely obvious, right? And when we are in our right mind, obviously that's so obvious we wouldn't do that. But when the moment comes, right, when you really want your stimulus check and you're on the phone and someone's saying, "Hey, I can help you get it," you just got to give me your social and your bank account number. Don't do it. All right, please don't do it because that is a scam. All right. Marlene Katz, I received a letter yesterday. The envelope looked official. The letter appeared official. They advised me that Medicare had changed and I was entitled to more benefits and that I should call them an 800 number or fill out the enclosed card and send it back in the enclosed envelope. When I saw on the card a request for my Social Security number and date of birth, well, the jig was up. Yeah. So another scam trying to get people's Social Security numbers. Right. Marlene gives us another one. I received a phone call from a scammer saying this is the SSA Criminal Division. Your Social Security number has been used in the commission of a crime. Please call an 800 number. You must contact us within the next 10 days to avoid prosecution for this crime. Yeah, so a common trick of scammers is that they will tell you, hey, you got to do this, you got to pay us money, or else you're going to be arrested, or you're going to go to jail, or something's bad going to happen to you or someone you love. So that is definitely a scam. Chantel Hansen, I had scam call claiming she is from a college I attended online and asking all kind of information about my EIP, my stimulus. I hung up and called my college financial aid advisor. She pretty much said it is a scam, right? So if someone calls you asking for information about your stimulus payment, yeah, that is a scam, okay? Your stimulus payment is between you and the IRS and, maybe with some information from SSA and VA, okay? And if they've told you how to give information to them, right, using the non-filers tool, right, or the Get My Payment tool formerly. You should be able to update direct deposit information on there. So, but they will not be reaching out to you via a phone call, right, to obtain information from you. Okay, so that is a scam. Brenda Jones, I had a call from someone saying they knew I was getting a stimulus check and they said it could be taken for my student loan that was in arrears. Well, I had a good laugh. I had only an 8th grade education. I was 72 years old. Scammers, I blocked and deleted. So, I have personally gotten a similar call, not for a stimulus check, but from student loan scammers, right, who get on the phone saying that I'm behind on my student loans and I need to basically pay them money in order to get my student loans out of default or something, or into forbearance, so that that my wages don't get garnished or something like that. Well, obviously with Brenda's statement here, these people are lying through their teeth. because we know that stimulus payments cannot be taken for being behind on your student loans, federal or otherwise. So that's a lie right there. And Brenda obviously also knew it was a lie because she never went to college. So yeah, watch out for these phone scammers. They are really brazen. Okay, here's a long one. Casano Enterprises says, I was a fraud investigator for a district attorney's office in Colorado in the late 80s. Most of these scams are updated versions of many that were being perpetrated back then. With the growth of technology, they're more automated, better hidden, and more sophisticated. A new twist on an old trick is being perpetrated at a time when scammers know people are getting money from the government, and some of these scams are not COVID-19 related, but timed to pilfer those EIP funds. Interesting. A caller contacts an elderly person, says, hi, grandma or grandpa, this is your grandson or granddaughter. Do you remember me? The old version of the scam would require using an actual name, but the new twist relies on the elderly person to provide a name of one of their grandchildren because it sounds like them. Once the caller has a name, they proceed with the I'm in trouble, I'm in jail, and ask for money to be sent to help them. There are a vast variety of stories behind the scam, but it's always happening grandma or grandpa for quick cash because of a fabricated disaster. My grandma actually got a call like this, but she was smart enough to call me first to ask me. She got a call saying, hey, and her name, this is Logan. I need some money. I need some help right now. Can you give me some money? And she felt it didn't sound right to her, so she called my cell phone and asked me if I had previously called her asking her for money, and I said no, that wasn't me. So apparently this scam is still going around and it's still working, right? And apparently, right, this individual is saying the scammers literally place thousands of these calls in a day. So apparently the scam is still working for them. So if you get a call like that supposedly from a friend or a family member telling you that they're in trouble and they need money right now, I would suggest that especially if it's from an unknown number, right, that you say, hold on, let me check on this, hang up the phone, and then you call back or say, hey, I need to call you back. And then you call back, right, their actual phone number that you have, that right? And so you're talking to them and ask them, right, about the situation. And more likely than not, they'll tell you that they don't know what you're talking about because it was a scammer who called you. All right, Christy Fuller. My dad had someone call saying they were from Publisher Clearance House, saying they need $2,500 to get the $1 million he won. When he said he didn't have it, the guy said he would take $15. My dad hung up on him and he kept calling back. My dad had to call the police and they talked to the guy before he stopped calling my dad's phone. Yeah. Yeah, that one is obviously a scam. It's funny how he went from 2,500 to 50 like that. Publishers Clearinghouse does give away money supposedly, but I don't think they call you to ask for $2,500 to get your money. Last one, Lily Grace follows our living word. 2 of my girlfriends got letters in the mail stating that they would receive stimulus checks again next month. And these letters were supposedly from the IRS. I do not know if this is a scam or not. Did anybody else receive the same letter? So yes, this is the second occasion, actually probably the third occasion on my channel where I have someone wrote and said that, hey, someone I know got letters saying there's another stimulus check coming next month. The second stimulus check has not been passed, right? If you followed my channel, you know that is the case, right? The HEROES Act, which involves another $1,200 round of direct payments, has passed the House, right? McConnell and company, or the Lindsey Graham and the president have said that bill is dead on arrival in the Senate. Now, might there be another stimulus check? Possibly, okay? But it won't be in the form of the HEROES Act, okay? Because the HEROES Act just has too much stuff in it that Republicans don't like. All right, so that is my update for today. I hope this was helpful for you. Please be sure to tell me of any other scams in the comments, and maybe I'll feature them in a future video because I think it's important for people to know about this, right? You are waiting for your stimulus checks, and it would be a shame if any of you or anyone you know was swindled out of it. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great Memorial Day Saturday, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.